We're here with Joe Marshall, all the way from Wisconsin. And we're so happy you came out here to the ranch. But that wasn't necessarily your true intention. I mean, you sent somebody out here.
Yes.
Why don't you pick up the story from there?
Well, what happened is a friend of mine, my nephew has Lyme disease, and he was on his own for a while trying to figure out what was happening. And later on, he found a doctor that specialized in Lyme disease, and he was on it for about 9.5 months, and he was in quite a bit of pain. And when I heard he was taking apple vinegar cider, I decided to talk with him about it. I said, why don't we talk to Dr. Young and see what he says? And from the start of the conversation, Dr. Young says there's no such thing as Lyme disease. You're over acidic. And he said, he gave him information for things to do to get rid of Lyme disease, but I talked him into coming down to the PH Miracle Center. He came down here for 2 weeks. I stopped down to visit him on the second week. He left in 2 weeks, and his Lyme disease was gone. He was healthy. He was running. He was in excellent shape. I decided to get my blood looked at since I was here, and I think I'm pretty good as far as no meat and dairy. And I had a surprise. I ended up staying here as a patient. I had blockages, 70 to 90%. And
was that in your carotid artery and femur arteries?
Yes, correct.
Mm-hmm. So you're a stroke ready to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. And I asked someone, well, how could this happen? How can I have this blockages? And someone says, if you wouldn't have been eating the way you were, more than likely you'd be dead. So I got onto the program, and I also got my wife involved. She was scared when she heard what I had, blockages, and she wanted to come out. So she came out for 2 weeks.
What happened for her?
She got a lot of energy. She had a couple blockages, nowhere like mine, and those went away. And it turned out that she lost 21 pounds in 2 weeks. And I'm finally going home. She went home before me, and I'm anxious to see her now.
So your blockages are now down over, what, 50%?
Yes. And I just have to stay on a program, and I'll be fine.
So Joe, you've known us for a long time. I remember the first time you came to one of our events in Alpine, Utah, way back. What would it be, 15 years ago, or?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
And
right.
so I'm just trying to catch up the history here. You weren't following the program in between then, or you were kind of following it?
I was following it, and as time went on, I did get off of a little.
Kind of got away from it.
Yeah, but I still did some of this. I did most of the stuff, but not getting the greens down the way you're supposed to.
Okay.
And once in a while, I'd go golfing, so I'd have bread and things.
Yeah.
But I also realized that I had a lot of stress.
Yeah, stress.
And I can picture where this happened with my business when I almost lost it, and it took 1.5 years to get it back. And that's the only reason I can figure out why that happened.
Yeah,
acid,
stress is big.
Stress produces acid.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't make sense why that would have happened.
Yeah. I was thinking, if you were on the program, how do you think those blockages happen? But stress is a big factor, and I think stress management is one of the most important things people can learn nowadays, along with any health regime, is if you feel like you're under too much stress, you've got to make some moves to alleviate that.
Yeah, it was very hard because I would work from 6 in the morning till 6 at night or 8 at night, and it would turn out I couldn't sleep. Yeah. And that went on for
How are you sleeping now?
Fine.
How are you working now? Did you change that 6 to 6, or did you?
Oh, that's been changed. I think I had this for a while. This was one area in my life for 1.5 years where it finally went down, and from then on it was fine. And I noticed at that time that my blood pressure came up a little bit, and that was like during that period, 1.5 years.
Yeah. So do you still work the same hours, or have you altered that? Or
No, that was necessity to keep the business.
to keep it going?
This was something where I had attorneys, and it went to court with the state.
Yeah, that's always hard.
Yeah, and so that's the only reason I think that could have happened to me.
But you're through that and feeling better.
Yeah, feeling
So
great
you've
now.
been here for how many weeks?
Little over 4.
Little over 4 weeks. And how would you sum up your experience here?
You're busy when you're here. You're getting things done to you. You're exercising to get the acid out. You're taking in a heck of a lot of fluids and food. So even when my wife lost the 21 pounds, she was always full. It wasn't anything with starving.
Were you both on the liquid cleanse?
Here?
Yeah.
Yes, we were both
So
on
you're
it.
doing like this, what I've got here today, the pureed soups, green, everything's green, right? Green
Ooh,
soups.
that looks good.
Yeah, that looks good.
all the
got
way
a broccoli
all the
celery
way
soup.
through.
And lots of shakes and your
Shakes.
liters of greens, right?
Right.
Yeah.
How many liters do you drink, Joe?
I was drinking, I'd say 4 to 5 liters, plus trying to get all the food down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And get all your treatments done.
yeah, and also when my nephew was here, we walked up a hill. We walked up the hill, and he was here only a week at the time. Before that, with the Lyme disease, they didn't want him to exercise.
Oh.
Yeah, and from the conversation on the phone, that day, maybe David had maybe 2 weeks of exercise. But when we came over here and he was on this for a week, we walked up the hill, and I noticed I was puffing a little and he wasn't. And I says, I can't believe how strong you are. Well, I thought I was in good shape because I do run some. After, I'd say maybe 2 weeks, I was running these hills besides doing the workout.
And they're steep.
These hills are hard.
Yeah,
I know
I don't mean-
firsthand how hard they are.
I don't mean they're easy, and I don't
No.
mean that I just flew through them. It was a
You
challenge.
built
but
up to it.
yeah, I built up before we walked it. I walked it, and then part way up, and all of a sudden I'm doing the whole thing. So I realized that you can get a lot of power, or you can advance in whatever you're doing in a short time. It seems like you can go that extra mile. And I believe it's doing this.
So I'm hearing that you're going to leave us soon. I'm sad about that because it's been so much fun to have you here. But this is kind of what you're going to go back to, right? You're going to go back
I'd
to a
love to
plate
do
of
that.
green. We've got a big 80%.
He's looking at that salad right now. He wants it.
This looks like a dessert to you right
It
now,
is.
right? You got
It is.
raw kale salad, beautiful red onions, beautiful tomatoes from the garden, and some of our dressings that have no vinegar. And this is kind of what life is going to be like from now on. Are you looking forward to this?
Yes, big time.
Good. So I hope you feel like you have enough recipes to take with you and DVDs and instruction. We try to make sure everybody feels like, yeah, I can do this when I get home. And I met your lovely wife. I'm sure you guys will be very supportive for each other.
Yes.
And we want you to stay in touch, and let us know how
Absolutely.
you're doing.
Yeah.
But we need to know a couple of things. What is your favorite exercise?
The yoga, what is it? The young yoga.
Yunga yoga?
Yoga yoga.
You think that's fun, huh?
I enjoy that one. It was a son of a gun in the beginning, but now I can do it.
Yeah.
And bending backwards the way you do, I'm about
You're
three
getting-
quarters,
you're
and
getting
he's
there.
telling me I can do the rest, but I'm not going to do it yet.
All right. And what is your favorite vegetable?
Vegetable, I would say all of them. Nothing
Yeah?
special.
Cool.
Whatever you have in there.
Yeah, how about fruit? You have a favorite fruit?
Well, I like the avocado and I like the tomatoes.
Okay.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
Good.
That's
Well,
our boy.
we're so happy you came, and we're so happy you're going home healthy.
Thank you.
And thank you for
Yeah.
your love and support.
And thank you for giving me my health back.
You're welcome.